is Rachel.
And I'm Liv, and this is
Shoes Off, Mics On.
The podcast where we talk about our journey and our cheer.
Whoop, whoop.
What are we talking about today?
Today, we are talking about parents.
Kind of like what we wish all cheer parents could know, what we wish we could say to them.
Mm-hmm.
We will preface by saying this is not just all about parents like that we've dealt with. This is just like generalized in the industry, like what we've heard,
seen online. Yeah.
And we love our parents, and we appreciate how much they sacrifice and do for us.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some that need a little bit of a talking to.
Yeah.
And that's what this is.
Yes.
What would you tell parents about, like, trusting the process and, like, not jumping the gun when, like, a kid walks out of practice, like, sad or not having a good practice? Like, how would you kind of preface that to a parent?
Well, I think it's really hard for them because they are paying so much money that if they're not seeing immediate results, that they kind of freak out and they kind of, like, you know, they start to worry and wonder if, like, their money is worth it and all the time they're committing to this, if that's worth it, which, I mean, is understandable. Like, I'm also impatient. I like immediate results, but cheerleading's not, like, an immediate result kind of a thing. You know, it takes time, and I think just understanding that there is a process to it, and it's not, I don't know, it's not, like,
Easy.
It's not easy, but it's also not rocket science.
Yeah.
Like, it's like we know what we're doing. You know, we've been doing this for a while. And also, I think trusting the coaches, too, is a big thing. Because if you don't trust your coaches, then you're only going to see the negative effects. And you're not going to see the positive in the long run.
I think also the parent, I get it as, like, because as a parent, your kid gets in the car and they say, oh, my God, my practice was so bad. I had so many corrections, yada, yada. That's all they hear, though. They only hear their kid's side. They didn't hear, well, your kid kind of had an attitude today, or your kid was not listening today, or goofing off. And that's not always the case. But, like, instead of just jumping the gun and be like, this coach is bad. Instead of jumping the gun and be like, this coach is picking on my kid, this coach is bad, like, they're maybe be like, hey, can I help support them at home anyway? Like, instead of just automatically, like, pointing the finger.
I also feel like when I was younger, like, just thinking about my own cheering, when I get in the car with my parents and they'd be like, oh, how was practice? If it was good, all I'm going to say is, that was good.
Yeah.
But if it's bad, the whole car ride home, I'm going to be talking about how bad it was and everything that was negative that went wrong. But when something's like, it's like a good practice or like a, you know, an average practice, I'm just like, yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
And, like, that's that. So they don't always hear, like, the good every single time you get in the car, you know. Sometimes it's just a simple, it was good. How would you explain or help a parent understand the progressions of a skill or progressions of their athlete rather than, like, they come in and they want their kid to have a tuck and they can't even do a cartwheel?
Again, it's just like you have to trust the process, but you also have to understand, like, you're training your body to do all these skills. Like, you're not just going to become a level 3 athlete overnight. It could take months, it could take years. Like, you're training your body mentally and physically to do all these things. If you push it too fast, like, you can get hurt, or you can, like, it's not going to work. And I understand everyone strives for wanting the same thing. Everyone wants to be on the highest level, all that stuff. But, like, understanding, like, it's good to grow and it's good to kind of get comfortable with a level first before you move on, because that's how mental blocks happen. Like, if you start progressing way too early and start doing something way too early that you're not ready for, it's going to block you from continuing what you're doing right now, because you have a million things on your mind. Yeah, I can tuck, but why? Like, I'm working on twisting right now. Why are you working on twisting when you haven't even done level 4?
Right.
You have to be able to, like, get comfortable with something before you can move on. It's literally like reading a book.
Yeah.
Why would you just start another book when you haven't finished the one
first
you're on?
book? Yeah.
Maybe you don't love it, but
finish it. The next book won't make sense unless you finish the first book.
Exactly. That was great.
Will that be in a clip on TikTok?
Totally will. Do you think parents make a big difference on the kids' lives when they kind of focus a lot on, like, the winning and the bids and all that stuff, rather than reminding them that, like, this is fun, this is not just supposed to be insane?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I feel like you lose sight of the whole point of cheerleading when you focus on the wins. You know, you lose sight of you're a team, you work together, teamwork, sportsmanship, all those things you just completely lose sight of because all you care about is winning. And I think it's really obvious. Also, the parents, like, you can see it in the kids when the parents are telling their kids that. Like, it's obvious which kid was programmed that way to just want to win and not care about anything else. And it almost comes off as, like, being a little bit selfish, I think, in the kid. And you kind of have to, like, address it immediately at the beginning of your season or whenever. And, like, make sure they understand that that's not really how it works, and it's not something that you can unteach necessarily, but you can teach them there are other things to care about besides winning, and that, you know.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're making a big effort this year to involve the parents more in, like, the score sheets and
just understanding what goes on.
Because to the naked eye, like, your kid hit the routine and it looked great, but was it executed properly? Did we get all our drivers? Like, all the stuff that goes on behind the scenes, I don't think most of the time they fully understand. So if they fully understand it, they can support the kid properly and support the coaches properly, because...
Well, I think it also helps them understand if we don't win. Why didn't we win? Because Sally's grips were on the shin and she's supposed to have main base grips. You know, things like that. So I think it helps them kind of understand, especially if the judges specifically call it a group. I think that also is like, this group did this wrong, but also this group was off timing over here, you know, things like that. So I think it helps hold themselves and their kid accountable instead of being like, well, my kid's the best. So that's not true. I feel like we've had to have some of these conversations in the past with athletes and families and stuff, but what do you think is the best way or the best approach for any concerns we have about an athlete or any performance, whether it be tumbling or stunting or just overall attitude?
I think the best way is don't come at the coach of, like, why are you attacking my kid? Why are you picking up my kid? Like, don't attack the coach. We're coaching. We're doing our job. That's what happens in the gym. There are circumstances that have happened with people or whatever, not at fierce like this, but, like, where maybe a coach is attacking, and, like, that's something then you address in a different way, in a different light. But if it's literally something that your kid is just being coached, or there's something going on, like, come to the coach and like, show us, like, a concern. Don't show us, like, aggression and I'm pissed off and you're picking on my kid, or go to your gym owner and be like, this coach is terrible, they're picking on my kid. Are they picking on your kid, or is your kid not doing their job and being a good teammate?
Would you say the same as, like, if we notice something that's concerning and we are addressing the parents?
Same thing goes for coaches. Like, if you notice something in a kid, like, coaches have to take accountability to be like, okay, I need to communicate with that parent what I'm noticing, because the kid's going home every day saying one thing. The parents aren't in practice. They don't see what we see. And so I get it. Like we said before, like, as a parent, all you're hearing is your kid's side. And that's your job as a parent. You back your kid, you support your kid. But also, like, don't come at the coaches of, like, well, why is my kid just standing in the back? Well, maybe because your kid isn't being consistent. Someone else stunted better, someone else tumbled better. Like, communication is the biggest thing from both ends, coaches and parents. So you kind of have to meet in the middle. And, like, you can never over communicate, but, like, you don't need a reason for everything. Just know the coaches know what they're doing. If we didn't, we wouldn't be coaching.
Also, I think it's important for parents to remember that their kids with their friends when they're at practice. Like, they're on a team, but they're more than likely friends with their team, and so they don't act the same at practice with their friends than they do at home with their parents. You know what I mean? Like, there's a different, it's like if they're at school or whether they're at home, and there are things that sometimes there are different behavioral things that come up when they're in an environment like that versus when they're at home with their parents. So it's important to remember that,
we all want to support your kid, and we all want to be on the same page.
And coaches are not here to bully your kids also.
What would you say to the parents that kind of force progression or force the kid to want it more than the kid actually does? Like, the parent wants it more than the kid does.
I I think it's sad. I think it's sad to see because it's really obvious, at least from a coach's perspective. It just ends up making the kid really not enjoy what they're doing, which is really sad because it can be, when you do it at your own pace, it can be the most fun, the best thing you ever do. But if it's something you're forced into, it's like you're forced to go to school. Most kids hate school. Mm-hmm. It's like if you're forced to do something all the time, or you're forced to, keep going and keep pushing and keep this, and all you want to do is maintain where you're at, you're just going to lose sight of why you're doing it and like what it's for. And, I'll have that helicopter cloud over you the whole time. And it's just like,
because practice and cheer is like already stressful. But most kids are like, when they get in the car, my practice is done. Maybe my mom will ask about it and we'll talk about it and that'll be it. But like, practice is done. I get to go home. I get to go on my iPad, or I get to draw or do whatever. Like, they get to be a kid again. Mm-hmm. But if you get home and your mom's like, nope, you have to stretch right now. Nope, you have to condition right now, which is good to an extent. Mm-hmm. Like, you should let them be kids, and it's already stressful at home or at cheer, so don't make it more stressful at home.
And if they really, really love cheer and they really want to do it, obviously they're going to start doing those things on their own.
Yeah.
Mom, can I stretch before this? Can we go into the gym early so I can work on this? Like, they kind of start doing that, as obviously not the little ones, but like as they get older, they kind of recognize that like it does take that extra commitment, but doesn't mean it needs to be forced on them. Yeah. So obviously coaches, there are things that we do make mistakes on, like we're not perfect. What are some things that you wish parents didn't just assume and you wish they asked about?
I wish that when something happens at a comp, like something falls or someone touches or something, they don't just automatically attack the kid. Mm-hmm. Again, it comes back to the support. But like, they don't just be like Susie's mom be like, well, little Brittany over there just fell on her face. She doesn't know what she's doing. Mm-hmm. She shouldn't be in that spot. Why is she in that spot?
Right.
Like, don't attack other kids when mistakes happen. It's life. Mistakes are gonna happen all the time.
Yeah.
Like, it's bound to happen, and it's okay. But because then it trickles down to your kid. Then your kid starts being the gossiper, mm-hmm. and then their bestie starts being the gossiper, and it just becomes this whole thing. And when it doesn't need to be.
Right.
Mind your business. Mistakes happen, and just be proud of what they did.
Yeah.
Like, it's the coaches.
Celebrate what was good.
Yeah, celebrate like the small wins. Like it's the coach's job to determine whether she should be in that spot or not, or she's having an off day.
Which even in that moment, we can't even make that decision right then and there.
Yeah, we'll get back to practice. We'll fix it.
Yeah.
You're not a coach. You don't get a say. We don't care what you have. Like, I don't care. Like, like, obviously input is nice. Like, we get it. Everyone has their opinions, but like, if it's not nice, keep it to yourself. Mm-hmm. And don't talk smack in front of your kids.
Yeah. What she said.
What's a way you think coaches and parents can like work better together? Like, I feel like we've talked about communicating and stuff, but like, what are ways that coaches and parents can be on the same page?
I think what we're doing right now, we just started doing like score sheet breakdowns. I think that's a really good way to connect with them, because it also gives them a chance to be with us one-on-one without the kids. And outside of the score sheet, they can ask us any other questions. Like, we had some uniform questions, we had some comp questions, and just communicating face-to-face versus just always sending them a text or being like, check the band, Sometimes they're like, I see the band, I don't understand the band, things like that. So I think it's just good. We can kind of discuss. It's kind of like just like parent meetings in general, I think is a good way to make sure you're staying communicating with your parents, especially because they have lives too. They have things going on in their time. They forget sometimes. They forget things, and it's good to have us there as a reminder for them, or we tell the kids something and kids forget, so it's good to also have a parent, like we have a parent group chat, so we send a text to the kids and then we also send the same text to the parents and make sure both ends are receiving it, and that everything's clear and communicated.
I think also your parents want to have a relationship with you. Like, mm-hmm. No, you don't need to go be best friends with the kids' parents, mm-hmm. but like, they want to know you. Like, what do you do? How long did you cheer? Like, they want to know you.
I want to know your experience and your background.
They want to know, like, who you are as a person. Are you soft? Are you, like, they want to know who you are and they want to understand you. Like, for me, I know I'm kind of more of an intense coach. I know I can be a lot, but I've made it apparent to my parents that, like, I know, I'm loud, I'm crazy, but we'll get it done and we'll make it happen. I'll be your kid's best friend, but I'll also draw the line at being their coach. I'll be someone your kids can talk to, but they need to know we got to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Like, and I think when you start off the season and, like, build that connection with them too, it works. I always tell my parents going into comps, I get stressed at comps. I sometimes don't communicate well at comps, so I will communicate all I can to you before comps. But at comp, if I seem a little standoffish, that's me. That's my fault. And I make that kind of known to them because then nobody approaches me at comps unless they have to. So
yeah.
But yeah, I think it's like just build a relationship with your parents in a way that you're comfortable with.
Yeah. I think it also helps if there's ever like a conflict or a conversation that needs to be had. Both parties know the other person a little bit and they know how to approach the conversation without just like coming at for you. There's more of like a friendship connection of like, I'm not coming at you, but I'm concerned about this, that, or the other.
Like there's some parents that will just be like, hey, what's going on with my kid? And it's point blank period. This is what happened. Okay, cool. I'll talk to her about it. And that's the end of that. And I think that makes the season very helpful.
How important do you think it is to communicate to the parents, like at the beginning of the season or before a big comp, like what your expectation is for their kid and the parents going into, I would say, bigger comps?
Yeah. I think it's really important because obviously, especially for the ones that are like brand new, they don't know what they're signing up for. Like, they don't know how huge NCAA is until you go there. You can say it a million times, but until you get there, like, you're not going to know. Even as coaches, like, we don't, like, it's that feeling, but you can prepare them and be like, hey, look, like, this stuff is insane. I will do as much as I can to prepare your kid, but you've got to support them too.
Yeah.
You can't walk in there and be like, oh my God, where are we? Like, you have to support them and be like, this is amazing. You get the best opportunity.
Yeah.
Just voicing everything you can. It all really comes down to communication. You can never over communicate. Like, we literally give our parents curfews for their kids at competitions. We give them assigned nap times if they have time for it. Like, and I know that sounds insane, but it works and it
keep them on a schedule.
Yeah, it keeps them on the schedule and it keeps the parents organized and it lets the parents know that, like, we're supporting them too. Because when sometimes, like, kids don't always listen to their parents. We know that. So when a curfew comes from coaches, they'll listen to that. Their mom can be like, okay, you need to stop swimming now. Like, you got to be in bed by 9. And they can be like, no, I don't. Like, they don't care.
Yeah.
But if your coach said you have to be in bed by 9, they're going to get out of the pool right away.
Yeah.
And it's just that authority. And, like, as much as kids should listen to their parents, like, we know that's not always the case. So they know they have to listen to their coaches.
I think us also assigning things like this just shows that this is just as important to us as it is to them, and that we care a lot and that we care so much that they have curfews and they have nap times at some comps and, you know, things like that. It just shows that we're on a schedule just as much as they are.
The biggest takeaway we hope you get from this is that communication is key, and
got to work with each other, not against. Otherwise, things are never.
And that goes for coaches and parents. Like, coaches, like, most coaches are pretty organized and try to be. So, like, as organized as you want your parents to be for you, like, you have to do that for them. Yeah. And that's the best way it's going to reciprocate.
Right. I fully agree with that statement.
Don't be a crazy cheer mom. It doesn't help anybody.
It might make things worse.
It will make things worse. We don't want that.
It's okay. We love you all. Okay.
That's all. Happy comp week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.